Jazza.
I'm Jenna.
I'm Murray.
I'm Elle.
And we're excited to share with you this week a little word or two about
Our Patreon.
Yay!
You can come and support us over on Patreon.
Woo.
There is awesome perks for signing up. If
Characters.
And
Characters.
mainly
After parties and more characters. And you can get a look at some Gateway stuff, which in January we're planning on putting an update out for patrons.
So
that's
excited.
fairly close.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited. It's so fun.
Yeah.
I snuck in a little extra 5 minutes in the rule book today.
Marshall, hey, all of the physical combat classes have a full skill trees now.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Rulebook's getting a whole
We're also
overhaul, but it's exciting. And then
Play
we'll
testing as well.
Oh yeah.
yeah, tell them about that.
We're
That's
playing. Well,
It started
our now I
Right
can't call it a
now.
D&D group anymore.
No.
Our gaming group is now. We're going to be trialing a campaign of Gateway to do some more play testing, which is fun. And I get to play.
Yeah.
I get to play.
Oh my
a player,
God.
so someone
playing a
else is jamming.
which is good.
You're playing as a player in like proper long play sessions.
Yeah,
How is
campaign.
the world
So it'd
going
be
to
really cool
handle
to
that?
sort
Dave is a player.
Miserably.
Dave is a player.
Well, it's going to be rough because he'll be like, "Oh, have you got stats for like skeletons?" You'll be like, "Yeah, sure. Let me." whip
Every
some up." I know all of them.
Every week for 3 weeks, at the end of everyone's like enthusiastic, and then Nathan's like, that's our DM. He sort of leans across to me and puts a hand on my shoulder, and he's like, "We need to have that conversation about monsters." And then I'm just like, "Yeah, we do, don't we? But see you next week. Bye."
Oh, no.
And I walk out. I'm like, "Oh God."
Well, I think that update after next, we could probably switch over to focusing on that a little bit.
I think that's probably the next priority after the magic's done.
Yeah,
Ghosty good.
it's very exciting. Still, yeah, it's chipping away. It's churning along in the background, and I'm feeling like it's the way we're able to play it and bring our story to life here is pretty robust so far. But if you're curious about that, check out gatewayroleplay.com. Otherwise, it's time
For tabletop.
Dive into the top of a table.
Say time to die. I was like,
I-
maybe one of us.
I think he who expelled the most blood from their eyes last week should do a brief recap of the last session.
all right. Well,
That was me. No, I'm kidding.
oh, you meant the character. All right. So, I don't panic with these anymore because I've got my trusty diary, which
Amazing.
says Leonie gets a uniform for the day. Just very happy about that. Leonie and Bianca pick up Lorenzo from a pillory, now injured.
Physically pick up.
He washes in the river. He now has cholera.
Bow bow.
Sneaking into his room, he is met by Arvin. They try his health potion. It worked and really sucked. Arvin recovered from injury, but also experienced death.
Wait, Arvin?
Arvin.
Arvin?
Wait.
Rip Arvin.
Oh no, I gotta edit my
When you rely on
you.
Lorenzo. I'm retconning. Lorenzo.
changing the law.
How do we have two characters
There you go.
that start with L and yet my name is the one everyone messes up?
Are you having a laugh?
Are you having a laugh?
All right, there you go. There's your. Was that an apt summary?
Yes. And today we pick up with our group, our party, our regular old pals ready to head off to go to the the first sort of expo of guilds being held at the castle. I will get a moment of you just saying sort of what the plan is. What are you guys? Let's get that readiness going, and then we'll start walking.
Did I
guess.
jump to the castle too quickly?
Yeah, you did jump to the castle.
I'm sorry, I got excited.
Quick, backtrack.
Okay, it was just all a vision, you know.
Cool.
We looked
I
out
need
the
to
window.
hyperventilate
Yeah.
a bit into a paper bag, and then prepare my describey words.
Okay. We'll give you time to hyperventilate. We do need to plan, though.
I'll happily carry the target for you.
Now that you're able,
Yes.
that's still
Well, I mean,
scared.
the target is in the cart, or did you leave it there?
Yeah,
in the
close
close to the location.
Do we need to roll if it's still there or someone's pinched it?
Let's not roll
Still
for
there.
stuff. Let's just.
Who is strong
let's
enough to just be
tell
like, hey,
Dave what
you're
happened.
no rolling.
Don't we? Yeah.
We left Plunky and Blimpo.
It's
No, they're
Procco,
the two.
It's Procco and Blocky.
They're but they're the two
was
new
close.
recruits. Procky and Blimpo.
They're not the
No.
new.
Second
No,
cousins.
No,
they've been
they
there
don't
for
exist.
ages.
I'm waiting for Alicia
exist.
to do her first ever official
Croco,
fan
Rainbow and
art
Blumpy.
because I am never, ever tasking Alicia with actually drawing Proco and Blumpy. So if ever Alicia does a fan art, it'll be that, or it's not happening.
It's only going in the fan art compilation.
Until then, that's your official art.
It's
So,
pretty great.
I don't know if it shows.
Yeah, that's a few. Yeah.
All right.
They were looking after it. What's their names? Yeah.
Okay.
Them.
I will accompany you with a smile.
Had you found someone to test on? I couldn't remember if we left it or not.
I will try.
Oh, you're taking it again.
No.
No, I had this on. No,
We discussed
according,
this at the end of
someone
last
according
week.
to Bianca, she has a specimen.
That's right.
Otherwise, it was
Okay.
going to be me.
Daddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't do
Okay. That's
Oh,
right.
Daddy, I want a criminal
Oh.
now.
He said, we're going to
Stop
test it on
talking.
Daddy. Daddy, stick this in your arm.
You're extremely prim and proper, right? I've never thought about this before, but that means your father will probably also be like,
yes.
yes, I am.
If you don't
I
talk
am
like
Bianca's
that, I won't
father.
be happy.
Yeah.
I am
No.
Bianca's father, and I'm very, very
I'm
special.
Bianca's father. Nice to meet you. I'll be very disappointed.
Hey, what, mate?
Oh, that stuck up one again. Oh, you.
Oh, yeah, she's the odd one of the family.
I always find a bloody lead.
Now, before I roll for anyone, would anyone like to curse or bless my dice? All right.
That's really messed up. I'll touch it as well.
Hey.
So when I roll for Murray's
double curse,
potion
though.
this time, we'll see how we go.
Yes.
Ready to head off? Oh, what's
I have to use
little
my
Serve as
power.
evidence later for something.
I have to use my power, okay? Otherwise, it just builds up, and we don't want that.
Yeah, fair enough.
That explodes.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm just chilling, bro.
Got your nice uniform.
Yeah. Things are good.
I think we're all just heading over.
Ready
Are
to go?
you going to
Pack
tell
up
your
the
friend?
oblast.
Huh? Are you going to tell your friend?
Tell my friend what?
Didn't you have a friend, Edith? Edith?
Yeah.
That you were, that's big news.
Let's not
Probably
create.
should have given an
Let's
outfit.
not like sidetrack. Let's just
First
go.
question.
Who knows what we're going to get done
Send her
today?
a letter.
Yeah, by pigeon.
I could have just told her this morning. She already
Pigeon
knew.
mail.
She literally last session was like, "Good luck, have some cheese on bread."
She did too. That was my good luck. Yes. Yes. I pick up the oblast and pack that away.
Okay, and
Good to
you
go.
all head on up, and I'm happy to fast track your journey through the guild ward
Yeah.
to a certain point.
Uh-oh.
Because for some of you, we are now starting to tread on unfamiliar territory. In particular, here it would be Leone and Lorenzo. Unless Leone has spent much time scampering around this part of town,
What part of town is that?
you are currently in the high guild ward. So you're in the wealthy part of the guild ward, moving.
No.
So, the streets of the guild ward change. The entire city of Allegrano is very well built, but here it becomes cleaner. Not only that, but the amount of greenery that is in the city appears to grow. The estate buildings go from being guild halls and then single-story shanties or sort of communal townhouses with lots of units in the same block to these large estates, multi-story gated, walled houses with little gardens that you can see through iron wrought gates as you walk past, with various, statues and beautiful, what's it called? Is it topiary where they do the
the hedges?
hedges that are trimmed into shapes and things like that. And it's all geometric and very well organized and beautiful. This is only just the beginning as you move through the top part of the guild ward. And for some of you, arrive at a gate you've never had reason to cross the precipice of. The Allegrano Castle has its own set of walls, and the city has sort of spewed off one side of it. So there is this massive high wall of the castle. Then there is, I can show you a map actually, bear with.
Ooh, map.
No use to podcast listeners.
Exciting.
Sorry.
We will describe map.
Use your imagination.
You see a map.
Well, not yet, Jazza.
There.
You have to do
They do in their
accurate.
minds.
They don't know that.
Yes, there you go.
We have a job to
There you go.
Look at the,
Tell
look at the map.
podcasters
Ooh,
the
wow. Ooh, I haven't shown it yet.
You
Hang
would?
on.
There it is.
All right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
So
There is a map.
the Guild Ward and the Commons are both surrounded by a wall, and then there are more houses as well as farm outside the walls. But the actual High Ward has its own major castle wall that is larger, thicker,
Can
and
you,
more
can
well
you
built.
put your arrow over where you're talking? Because I'm so confused
The
right
High
now.
Ward is the one with the castle.
Okay.
Up there.
And there's a lot. I
Monarch's
can't help but
Rise,
notice
it's
there's a
called.
lot of sort of pasture and growth,
Yeah.
sort of separating the castle from houses
Yes.
near the fence. So it's sort of like surrounded by little
So,
foresty.
the castle is actually on one side of the castle. There is a cliff that is quite, in fact, running around this whole left side of the castle facing Allegrana. There is a cliff, so there's no capacity for anything to grow there. But it's part of the natural defenses of the castle. And then there's a lot of vegetation and greenery, which has been allowed to grow. But once upon a time, and in times of war, it can be like completely cleared and cut down and left to be more defensible territory that gets
set up camps and
palisades and camps and things put
Plus
up.
lumber.
That's very
But
clever.
in times of peace and stuff, it's quite pleasant. So we can go back to regular things. You stand at the precipice to the High Ward. Carts are rolling in at a higher rate than usual, and unlike most of the gates and guards, there are a series of guards standing around, but there is also a royal guard standing there as well, which is, a sign that you're about to move into the higher echelons.
Who among us will have come across or met one before?
A royal
think we all
guard.
did.
You've all said hi to one, but in terms of
At the
just
festival,
yeah,
Oh, okay.
there were quite a few.
And who's with us? De La Rosa?
the whole guild
Amelie?
basically.
Yeah, cool.
Brocco, Blumpy.
Yeah.
Mostly not
The
Procon.
essentials.
No, none of the laborers. Oh, no, they're bringing your
They
car.
bring cart, yeah.
Yeah. Celeste. Sure. Yeah,
Really?
you're all there. You're all there.
It's a group
Everyone's
venture.
there.
Yay.
The whole
big
party.
procession.
Yeah.
What about Elio?
More collateral.
Elio's there.
He's
Okay.
doing
All
some-
the important people here.
This is almost as exciting as the last time I went to the castle.
When was the last time you went?
Wait, you've been to the castle?
Oh, yes, of course.
What do you mean, of course?
You don't go to the castle?
I have never been
It's
to
so
the castle.
pretty. I like to come to the High Ward with Grandpa every now and then and, play in the
It is
forest.
lovely, yes.
It's not illegal to come into the High Ward. It's just, yeah.
Cool.
Okay, you move through the gates. And as you reach the other side of the wall, you see if the High Guild Ward was wealthy, you now step into a world that feels almost removed from most of what you've ever seen. Buildings here are relatively old, but beautifully and immaculately kept stone manors with expansive grounds. There is a strip to your left that none of you are heading up, a road that heads up to the left as you go through the gate. And you can see on there is a row of shops. There is a small, there's no market here. These are all boutiqueries. They're like fine clothes and the sort of shops that most of you, except for perhaps Bianca, wouldn't even open the door. Because you just know you wouldn't be able to afford anything in there.
And like they'd all be like really specialized as well. There's no like general stores.
Oh,
or anything.
absolutely. It's sort
Yeah.
of like the dress shop and there's probably like 5 clothes stores of different
Yeah.
specialities.
So we're probably seeing a lot of things that are also new concepts to
Yeah,
us in a way.
and most of it doesn't seem particularly practical. Like there is a weapons and armor store. There is what seems to be a smith, but it's of the level of craft where you're talking like gem encrusted pommels on your weapon. Yeah, it's very fancy
Nice.
stuff.
Fancy.
Nice.
One day.
But you don't need to pay too much attention to that. What you do need to pay attention to is the large winding road that heads up towards Allegrano Castle. And on this journey, you are seeing other guilds. There are other carts. There's a lot of traffic actually heading up here, more than you would usually see. There's also Cavaliers of the Crown in small groups of 2 or 3 here and there on the roadside, chatting, talking, moving to and fro, as there's a lot more density of that kind of activity up towards the castle. Now,
Suss out the competition.
they're all checking everyone out. As you wind across this road and head to the right, you cross a gorgeous and fairly fast-flowing river, one that is almost crystal clear with water and mountain runoff, and you see that this river descends down the hill and heads through the Guild Ward And it's almost impossible to picture this being the same water that is being so heavily polluted by the city.
Bianca will say, "This is what it's supposed to look like." Is it sparkling?
Well, if you all didn't poop in it up from your end, it might look like that
But-
down towards us.
Is that what you do? Goodness, no wonder it's filthy.
I did not say I do. Anyway.
Libero,
Anyway, narrator?
There's a lot of potential conversations to follow on from that one, but maybe we'll leave it.
Yeah.
Theoretical conversations are had while we
Yes.
move on.
Libero actually on that says,
Do not blame the High Ward.
Awesome.
They keep the river immaculately clean. I would be more concerned about the guilds pouring their waste into the water.
Yes, well, it is a shame. I wish we had better methods for it.
Oh, we do, but speed is often the ally of the guild.
you continue walking, crossing a gorgeous bridge, well made, that winds around more properties. And as you turn and continue walking, you actually cross a bridge, then cross another bridge back over the same river. There's forestry and hill that makes it.
Oh, same river, sorry.
Yeah, so it's basically, you can't really go directly to the castle. You wind across the river, go around where the land, it's just following the lay of the land, and then it curves around and heads back across a second bridge. But it also makes the castle very defensible as well, because there's two potential sort of choke point things. And as you reach this point and look up, you see the gorgeous Allegrano Castle, a massive castle standing at the highest point. Terracotta tiled roofs contrast off white stone, and pennants and banners hang off every side of the castle like colourful streamers showcasing the particular heraldry of the 7 duchies of Lucevera. Now that you're closer, you see these. You can see more clearly groups of well-dressed academics and inventors moving in clusters, holding their particular inventions sort of tightly to their chest under canvases and blankets, with attendants, servants with carts and wagons and things to set their displays up. You also note, as you actually starting to get up to the top of the hill and get towards the castle gates, that there are a group of young students. You'd say they're probably teenagers, mid-teenagers, wearing the fine their violet summer blazers, little puffy jackets, which you all recognize to be from the Queen Valeria Charter School. And they're all moving onwards with an aging academic with a kind face. Each student seems to be carrying their own little thing in their hands, like a little tray with a canvas over it to disguise it, which you can only assume they're planning on presenting.
Do we know roughly how many guilds there are?
In the city, 30 or so.
Yeah.
Okay, it's quite a few.
Major guilds.
Yeah.
With branches and often internal competition. So there might be several people from the same guild trying to show off a different thing.
I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, was it advised to us that we could only show one thing? And is that just because we're who we are?
It's just because you suck. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
entirely.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wait, then why were we planning to do 2?
In case it
Because
didn't
screw
fail.
the rules, I've got money.
Huh.
That's up to you guys.
It's in case it failed. We didn't know what was going to happen with Arvind, so
Right.
we've
So
just bought 2,
if
but
we
we've got to
don't
pick one.
find a health potion guinea pig,
Okay,
Yeah, we have a backup.
cool.
So, one other thing catches your attention as you're about to enter the gates. You don't have to be particularly keen-eared to hear in the distance. And there's a little some birds. These deep, guttural, strange animal sounds coming from the other side of the castle. But you can hear it sort of every now and then just punctuating the soundscape.
Are others responding?
Lorenzo, like reflexively, just like totally subconsciously, his hand goes to grab his sketchbook and it's not there. And he like shakes it off.
You can only guess that you are close to the king's menagerie.
Oh, would I have seen this before?
Yeah, you've heard that before. You know that you live near here. You live
But
very
have I
close to
seen
here.
the menagerie?
In fact, have you seen them?
The menagerie.
You've been in the menagerie.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I just
you're,
didn't know
you're
if
rich.
so loud in there. Okay.
Is it like sort of like
Yeah, but this is the
publicly
king.
No.
accessible or viewable?
It's not publicly accessible and viewable, but it's privately
But he likes
accessible
to
and
show it
viewable.
off.
Yeah.
And
Probably.
while Bianca doesn't talk about this very much, her father is a baron and the steward of the castle.
I don't know if they know that.
Oh, Stu's okay.
You don't. Your characters may not necessarily. Your characters may not necessarily know that, but I'm pointing out that Bianca has a level of access through her life. Could Bianca necessarily just walk up and walk through? Maybe not. But certainly, as a child with her
Maybe she
dad
asks
on
Daddy.
state business, she has been through the menagerie once or twice and
And she
been
probably seems like
wowed.
comfortable enough, like passing through the grounds with like an air of like familiarity.
You are very familiar with this area.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
super familiar. Because anytime you want to see your dad while he's at work, you have to come to the castle. And it's castles. They're not like off bounds. Like you can come up and beseech the king for an audience to talk about some grievance. You're allowed to do that. Will you be seen? Maybe not. Will you be seen by some like lesser administrative clerk? Probably. But that's why your dad has a job, because the castle business is a full-time daily affair just to manage the staff and all that. There's like 100 staff just running this place.
I like that you said grievance because you rhymed it with audience.
Yeah, I did that deliberately.
Totally. So you cross the precipice and enter the grand muster courtyard at the front of the. I'm just going to continue interchangeably saying castle and castle because my brain
That's
doesn't
what
work.
Aussies do. We change it up.
Yeah, we like to mix it up, keep it
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah. I don't even know it.
Bianca
Yes.
immediately spots Baron Antonio de Aquila standing at a balcony 2 floors above ground level. Just standing, there's a royal guard to his left, and he's got his hands crossed behind his back and his chin high as he looks down his nose at the affairs of all of these guilders putting up tables. And every now and then you see him shoot a finger out with a violent point that has such purpose and direction. And although at the moment you're not sure what he's gesturing to, you very rapidly see that there are dozens of staff like looking up to him for direction, and then as soon as his finger goes, they just bleep into action and do various tasks. They seem to know autonomously what he requests of them without a word. And he's just directing this setup from up high, watching everyone move. And as you walk in, you realize that there's no real sense. There's no one telling you what to do. Guilds are bustling and hustling, setting up tables and taking places, pride of place. Things are happening very quickly. What are you doing?
Mistress De La Rosa, where would you have us prepare?
She starts looking around. Wherever we can find the best spot.
I'll go try and find us a subject, shall I?
You do that, and we'll set up.
Cool.
Okie dokie.
Well, we probably want to find somewhere,
Can I make an intuition check to
outside-ish
sort of see what
for
Yeah.
might be a good like traffic
potential
place?
siege weaponry.
Oh, we do.
I've never done this before.
Asian.
Oh, sorry.
3?
Thank God.
Oh, it was the one that was super shiny, not a 2. I can't read. 3 successes. Okay. You spot a few locations that could be decent. None of the great spots, all the great spots are taken already. Having identified them, however, you need to secure them. And there are multiple guilds and groups of people hustling and bustling, trying to grab each spot, claim them, putting tables down, putting their equivalent of putting a bag down to claim the spot. What are you doing?
I'll march directly to one and sort of nudge Leone, come with me. And I'll say,
Okay.
like, Avon, you claim that spot. In case we lose this, you are presenting something different. So you don't need us to set up. And if one of us gets one, the other will migrate towards us and we will unite.
Okay, is it just me
Well, there'll be. We can split like.
Half the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a bag to put down per se, but I can
You've
go
just got
stand
a
there.
bottle. Yeah. No, this is my setup. Don't change it.
Yeah, something. It's very discreetly secreted on my person.
So, Lorenzo and
Turn
Leone
over.
rush over to one of these spots you've identified, and as you arrive,
Secreted. Not
a
secreted.
tall and thin man wearing opulent robes of silk and a puffy jerkin with a cloak hanging down and little eyeglasses supported by wood on the tip of his nose. He also has pouches and several sort of golden and brass implements in little tied on in little leather straps all over him. He comes up, and as he steps towards you, you notice that this cloak he is wearing shimmers with a radiance that almost reflects like sparkles of light at you as he comes close. Excuse me. It seems you have stood in the location of the Astronomy Guild's display.
Have they set up?
No, there's nothing there.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. This is actually for the old
My young
trades assembly.
laborer, I see there is no guildmaster here. Perhaps you should leave. But thank you for coming and making sure no one else
No.
was in our spot.
No, we are here. So thank
Okay.
you for.
Make an authority check.
Oh no. Now, what's the negative on? Oh wait, no, he's an astronomer, so never mind.
Challenge level 4.
Ooh. Can I help?
I fail.
You can give him an extra dice.
All right.
Oh, Jiminy.
Does he do it?
Does he do it?
Did we
Oh, no,
rest
did you
last
draw?
night? Did we get a rest?
You've been rolling from this morning, not
But
last
then
night.
we draw, wouldn't we?
You would draw and then you'd re-roll.
Yeah. Is it worth it? I don't know.
No,
Wow.
I failed.
And he very quickly gives you this look of importance, and he's like, "Oh, impetuous and claiming my position. This will not look good. What is your guild, by the way?" As some more people start wheeling towards this, there's
Not-
like a
not
cart
wanting to
with big
make a-
brass implements on it.
Not wanting to make a fuss, I'll just leave mid conversation and fuck up.
I say to him, and I look around this area, and I kind of go, if you are from the Astronomy Guild, perhaps daylight is not the best.
Yes, put it over there. Yes.
Why would you want to set up
you.
here? This seems like a terrible choice.
Jerome, always wonderful work. He's literally just talking to his staff over you, and he's like a foot taller than you, and he hasn't even met eye contact with
Okay,
Leone,
I
not once.
Kick him in the shins.
I set up here. I dump my stuff on the ground and start setting up.
I stop halfway between the two of them and
Okay.
look back, and I'm like, Leone, where I sent Arvin? Was there anything happening there?
Well, we'll deal with that later.
I wander back to Leone.
I think I could tell her.
Yes. Oh, right. And I run off and.
Leone, you start setting up.
Yep.
He looks at you and he's like, "I thought you were leaving."
She's raving.
Tight. Oh, but this is so much better.
Moving to spaghetti.
Make a resistance roll.
Uh-oh.
Challenge level 4. You anti-cursed my dice tonight, by the way, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, boy.
I've never done that before.
No, Murray negated.
Oh,
What's the
Murray
challenge?
Four.
dedicated.
I fail.
Leone,
Well,
you get knocked off your feet
Okay.
as a pair of laborers walk past you, but make an intuition check.
Oh. Two.
It doesn't feel like it made sense, but with 2, you don't get much more. As 2 laborers carrying something heavy basically bump into you, and with their weight and size compared to you, just destabilize you and knock you off your feet. And then they proceed to knock your half set up Arbalast over as well. And then when they put down their heavy object, just crunch it into the leg of it and start like moving around.
Do they break it?
Don't roll for that.
There is a splinter, like a splinter crack in one of the legs. And there you get the sense that like this is already not a friendly environment. And you're outnumbered by people who are not listening to you and are starting to be very rude.
I clamber up to Delarosa. Mistress, I need your authority to claim a place on behalf of the guild. There is animosity at large.
Yes, I'm not surprised. Now we should cut to Arvin to see how he's gone. Arvin.
Cool. All right. Well, I was going to say I grabbed Dolorosa, but all right. I head to the place.
Okay.
What's the place?
Yeah, I'm just deciding.
Place I was directed to.
I'd pointed him somewhere and
Oh, just vaguely.
sent him off.
He's like, you
Go
go
down
over here.
to the hill
It was
next
one
to the
of
menagerie.
Lorenzo's fantastic plans. I don't see what the problem is.
As usual.
Did anyone go with Arvin? Or is it just Arvin?
Well, you said me and you were going here and Arvin, you're going there.
Okay.
Everyone else, for the sake of making role-playing checks, the rest of the guild is like getting all the gear together and setting up. You've run off to kind of stake spots. Arvin, as you arrive at one of the other decent spots that were identified, conveniently another group is also arriving at the same time. You see a sort of very jolly-looking woman, 5'4" sort of height, very smiley, wearing quite nice, clean white linens, very official, in fact, with your professional background, you immediately guess in the field of medicines. That's the kind of thing that people wear. It's sort of sensible. It's not overly opulent. And she sort of, oh, this is a wonderful spot. Excellent. Let's set up here. Yes, over there. Oh, you there. Little man. Hello. Oh, tall man.
Yes. Good day to you. Are you also trying to take this spot?
Yes, absolutely. I believe we're here first, yes.
How large is this area?
It's large enough for a display. Like
Empty.
a couple of tables, like 2 tables.
All right. Well, I see that you are also from a very reputable
As you said,
employment.
also from a very reputable, her eyes dart down to your jerkin and darts back up. In fact,
No, like field craft, not necessarily
Right.
guild.
Well, I am not going to make you check. You know this guild. She is from the Fellowship of Humorists. And the humorists are basically, they understand the humors.
Comedians,
and They treat them. It's basically it's the closest thing you're going to get
They only
to a
treat funny
psychiatrist
bones.
and also someone who would treat disease as opposed to someone who would treat trauma. So they treat diseases and mental conditions in their way.
All right.
Oh, you're from a similar profession? All trades. Yes, we know of you.
So give like a very formal like half bow, so like alchemy, my lady.
Ah, wonderful. Well, I don't see the rest of your guild here, so it seems a bit silly for you to take all this space. But if you'd like to,
The
have a
carts
little
are just
stand,
on the way. They'll be here momentarily.
and then I'd miss out on this spot. Oh, I'd hate for my mood to turn choleric.
That would be a shame.
Tell me, darling, of course you could make a professional concession for once. You can see it's important for our work to be seen by the Duke here. Maybe you could just find another spot for your guild.
Can I, like, from where I am here, can I see any more locations from here?
There are a few D-class locations. You're in a mid spot. There's a few places that are still completely empty. You're early enough this morning that you could get in on the fringes in sort of a less viewed hooey spot.
All right.
This spot is in view of the balcony that the Baron is watching everything from.
Ho, ho.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll try. Well, as we are somewhat both in the same profession, how about we help each other out?
Go on. Yes. Okay, bring that over here. Yes. What do you have in mind?
It is a bit of a squeeze, but if we both fit in here, we could help each other out.
I'm going to need you to make a social check. Can we get a charm check?
All right.
Put on the charm. Get schmoozed.
Now, luckily,
See what we can do here.
she's feeling pretty sanguine. Charms level 3.
Cool. I'm going to use my skill, the Fast Fixer, to redo one skill check. As that was a 2.
Oh,
I end up
thank
with a 3.
Goodness. Now you have to re-roll,
We
right?
have to reroll.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 1.
Oh no, that's bad.
I got 3 again.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I really, you know what? I like your gumption. It's great to see positive mental attitude. I like it. Tell you what, well, I understand you want to share our space. So here's what we will do. You may have this. And then she like leans over and pulls what is effectively like a little TV stand equivalent in size, you know, the little like fold out on your lap, eat your TV dinner sort of size thing, but with legs that go all the way down to the ground wooden. And then she sort of sets it on the far corner of the plot. And she's like, as an alchemist, you're, you know, vaguely work with humorists and you can peddle your wares over there in the corner and borrow some of our prestige. I think that's a fine deal for the All Trades Assembly.
I sort of do that sort of like
In a
half bow
weird
again.
way, it's not the worst
Yeah.
deal
Yeah.
for
Actually
Ivan.
pretty good.
You humorist me to no end, madam. I will happily.
I like puns.
Took a risk on that one.
Immediately just detracts her offer.
I will happily take your generous offer.
Wonderful. And then she starts setting up. So you see Arvin standing, there's these group of humorists who basically look like weird medieval physicians who are setting up tables and potions and racks. And then on the corner, there's just a little fold out one thing TV trade size table. And Arvin's, I guess, standing there putting his one potion in the middle of the table.
I love that.
Yeah, oh no, like not even the potion like that. That is staying away.
You put your hand there.
I might put like a cloth on the table or
Yeah.
something. That's fancy.
So we're with Della Rosa, who notices,
Yeah.
who looks around and sees that. What does
She
she
strides off
just away?
straight towards Arvin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Follow along.
I'm standing
And-
there resolute behind my tiny table.
She's kind of like arrives momentarily seething and then Arvin, you have this spot?
Correct.
She looks across at the humorists and then her expression just completely changes to this smile and she bows deeply and then she says, I greatly appreciate the accepting one of our finest by such a prestiged guild. And she nods her head and then there's a brief, oh, never mind, he's a charming little rascal. And then Dolorosa looks and she says, so don't mess up. There will be a lot of eyes on you this close to a guild of such repute.
I aim not to, madam.
Perhaps with your potion here and the contraption, we will set up somewhere a little bit less collateral.
I think that would be for the best. Sadly, I was not able to secure a location for such a grand display of destruction.
Okay. She turns.
What situation is Leone in right now?
What are you
During
doing?
my
Mary?
spree. Okay, so first of all, is he still is he just like walked off from me now?
He's talking with other people.
Yeah, sick. All right, the thing that they're wheeling in, what is it?
There's a wagon with a whole bunch of like brass implementation on it with like 6 people around it. Currently trying to unpack it and set it up.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to slowly start packing up my arbalest as they're unpacking theirs. I would like to figure out how to with it.
Okay. Make an engineering check. Challenge level 5.
Ayo.
You'll make Leone mad.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
3 successes.
Was it a 5 you needed?
5.
You still have to do it in front of 6 people. Might be a waste.
Lorenzo, voice of reason, not here.
Your eyes panning across this device, it's unusual, but you're not that shocked that you genuinely don't know. As someone who is you're an adept, you're learning and you have a natural gift for it. Sometimes when an astronomy guild brings in a random giant brass and gold contraption, you're just like, and it is in pieces. You're kind of just like, I don't even know what would do what.
Okay.
It's also extremely heavy and large, so there doesn't seem to be really small, like finicky bits like wires or things to pull out. There's like huge brass cogged and geared things that, be very hard to damage.
Okay. Could I place, theoretically, as I'm looking around, one of my rockets somewhere? Just on the ground, just to leave.
Yeah.
Potentially where I think they're going to set this thing up.
Okay. You're going to need to make a stealth check.
That's fine.
Was this
Challengeable.
firecracker always attached to the side of the telescope?
Just roll it. 'cause
bit of
it's-
flair.
You don't know.
Literally.
3 successes. You place a firecracker on the ground,
Cool.
just on the ground near them.
Where I potentially think they're going to set this thing up, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you can like kick it under a table that they've set up. and
Great.
It's kind of
Are
concealed
they
under there.
remote controlled to set off?
No, you need to light them
Okay.
like a fuse.
I'm aware.
Okay.
And they're, I think what one do you have? Flare? Like a flare or the smoke one?
The flare one. Actually, the smoke one's the one I have. Yeah.
Okay, that's better. So it's a big smoke cracker. Cool.
Cool. I go, pack up and try to see if I can go somewhere else and try to fix what was broken.
Okay. Well, as you get up, by the time you've done that,
Yeah, cool.
Lorenzo and the rest of the group has kind of met up with you. And given the better spots are now taken, there is a long strip that runs sort of as another gate. There's several gates that lead off this parade area. And you know how like artist alleys and stuff have like the dodgier and dodgier tables? There's like the capacity for you to set up your ballistas firing range along a corridor. Like, it's hard to describe. Imagine a gate leading out of a courtyard, and then on the left side is the castle's exterior wall. And on the right side, there's sort of building with another lane that leads to another building and a servant's quarters, blah, blah, blah. But you can set up like basically just on the outside of the gate and then have your like firing range run along the castle wall. So it's still sort of visible that you have a setup if you're standing in the plaza, but you're actually technically outside the plaza.
Okay, that's fine. I'm confident in my
It's suitable for
my
a dodgy
abilities.
guild.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm confident in my abilities.
What did you call us?
Dodgy guild.
Whoa, Dave.
Cool.
So we're cutting away to Bianca.
Yeah, it's
It's like
Bianca's
reflex
turn.
based, right? The dodgy guild.
Yeah, that's us. I like this music. As she's walking through the corridors. Yeah, there's someone's playing a harp.
Just in the corner.
Literally.
I mean, the music guild might be here.
Oh, true. Maybe the king likes music.
There is heightened security, and as
dear.
you reach the first door, a pair of royal guards stop you, but only for a second, and then they see you're a cavalier and pull their halberds aside and let you pass.
I'll nod at them.
And your feet, this is the first time we've ever been here. Your feet clack on white marble floors that are threaded with gold as you step. That's pretty good.
Whoa.
As you step across through the first of the echoey hallways in the most opulent castle in the realm. This beautiful room has like red tapestries, fabrics hanging from the ceiling, chandeliers, servants quietly moving to or fro, suits of armor. It's just beautiful, as you know from every time you've been here. You know the path, the staircase that winds once, the corridor that leads off it, the right-hand turn, and the staircase that winds up a second time before turning back and around towards that balcony that your father is standing on.
I think she's paying less attention to the like beauty in the exterior around her, and more she's like trying to compose herself. If people aren't watching, of course.
You have a lot of siblings, right?
She does have a lot of siblings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So middle child syndrome, sort of.
No, like youngest child.
Okay.
I can tell you how many siblings she has. 5 older siblings.
And you walk into a room. It's a square room, fairly devoid of purpose. It's basically a gathering place. The main purpose is that there is a large balcony and you can kind of go and look out of it. But it's sort of an interim. I wouldn't describe it as a hallway, but you know those in big manors how they have rooms that kind of connect hallways and they're just kind of a larger, wider room with some like statues in it and it just looks nice.
And so it has the balcony off this.
The balcony is off this.
Yeah,
There's sort of 2 large windows with flowing drapes and then in between a big opening that leads out to a balcony. So this room is filled with natural light and beauty, but doesn't really serve a purpose. And standing there, just on the inside, there is actually 2 castle staff members that even in the duration you're here, one of them rotates through. So your father, like you don't hear at the edge of your hearing, but he'll sort of say something and one of them will just dash off and then like another servant will just and slot in. And there's always 2 standing there like at attention, ready to attend to whatever order or whim is called.
Okay.
Your feet clack across the floor.
I'll head up behind them.
They look at you and nod as you approach.
When I get a moment of like silence amongst all the discussing, I'll say, "May I have a word with the steward?"
Steward, you have a visitor, a cavalier. There's a brief moment. And then a sharp turn, a military turn, as the steward turns towards you. And you are face to face with Antonio de Aquila.
Antonio Banderas. No. Nice. Father?
Cavalier.
I have a request to help things run smoothly today.
A request on this busiest of days. Well, out with it.
The dungeons still holding the injured prisoners?
Sharp intake of breath, eyes sharp, flick left to right. 4 clipped steps inside. An arm that sort of shoots up to your upper arm and holds you and directs you. There's no aggression in it. It's just firm and direct. And it kind of like in that way that wealthy and stately people can control a situation, immediately takes you by the arm and starts walking with you just slightly further into this room. The servants know not to follow.
Yeah.
Walks. What would you need with dungeon prisoners?
There is something that the guild I've been assigned to is working on. And I believe it will be of great interest to the king and the king's armies. And we require someone to show the potential healing effects of it on. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Healing effects. And he looks down his nose at you with like analytical sort of boring into you. And what, Cavalier, has filled you with a desire to help the guild you're auditing?
You know I helped the crown. Do you think I would ask this if it wouldn't help all of LUCEVERA? Strengthen our armies.
And he leans closer, tilts his head. There's that sharp... in your father's eyes, there is almost a cruelty in his honesty. But you also know that he's always he always tries to do what's best for the family. Like, it's never an anti... There's no animosity.
I'm doing
in
this
it.
for your own
And he kind of
good.
looks in and then he says, softer, even quieter than he has been talking. For the good of the crown? But what about for the good of Bianca de Aquila?
Well, maybe for all the D'Aquilas. Bringing this to royal attention.
But it is not your claim. How good is it?
Remarkable. I couldn't believe it.
And you didn't think to confiscate it?
I considered it, but on a battlefield, I think it's something better to have on our side.
Yes, on the side of the Aquila family.
Well, what if you were the one to bring attention to it?
No, my station is far too important to bring any potential disgrace upon the family. At worst, if this goes poorly, you can take the fall.
It won't. I just require someone from the dungeon.
That is a big and suspicious ask. Someone from the dungeon. The people in the dungeon are political prisoners.
People in the dungeon are also already injured,
Yes.
and I'm not interested in injuring someone who's not, just for the sake of a show.
Not saying you should. What I'm saying is, can you get assurances that you can maintain some kind of influence over this miracle drug? What if you raise it to fame and glory, and then it runs out of your control, an opportunity lost? This could bring the family great status if it's important.
You're worried I can't control it once it gets out?
I want to make sure you are controlling it the whole time.
There's a reason I've been at the guild as long as I have. I'm not sure if you've been following my exploits, but I'm keeping a very close eye. And believe me, if anything happens with it, I'll know.
Yes, I feel that you're... He sighs, straightens up. His shoulders slag slightly. You're not your brother, that's for sure.
Which one?
You
Oh,
know
she
the one
knows
he's
which one.
referring to.
You'll have to start somewhere. I am a D'Aquila after all.
I can do you this favor, daughter, as a daughter, but know that I will be greatly disappointed if this brings either shame or lost opportunity to the family. This could be your moment. Do me proud.
Yes, sir.
And he turns without even saying any kind of goodbye or anything. He just turns and strides back towards the balcony. And then he talks towards one of his guild members, attendants who runs off. And thank you to chat for calling it an antechamber. It's an antechamber. That's a great word for this room.
It's not a chamber. It's anti-chambers. I guess I'll
What is this, a chamber for
head off in the
ants?
direction of... Do I know where the dungeons are?
You get the impression you won't need to.
Okay.
Because the way he sort of speaks
Is
to someone and an
send someone
attendant
off.
runs
Okay.
off.
Okay,
then
cool.
yeah.
I think I'll try and make myself as scarce as possible in this area then. Yeah.
All right. I guess probably 10 or 15 minutes later, Bianca refines both groups. Everyone has time to set up their displays. Can I get a engineering check from Leone to fix her arbalast?
Woohoo.
Challenge level is only a 2.
Just pass. What is that? Like 7 dice? Oh my goodness.
You brace the leg of your arbalast and manage to repair it. All right,
Yeah.
all
Just the
reunited
potion on the-
because your spot
fix
is
the
being
leg of
saved
the-
now by the Humorous Guild Arvin, so you can go over and check in with everyone. Yeah, do you want to discuss?
Bianca, how did you go?
I think I've got someone.
Do you need to help to go get them?
My father works at the castle. He'll sort it out.
Are you with us? Are you with all of us, or are you with?
Yes, yeah.
What?
With you mentally? What?
Your father works for the castle?
Yes, he's the steward. Big
Wow.
one pointing aggressively up there.
Oh, that guy.
And you would all immediately hear steward and know that he's a baron, and also the steward is one of the most important roles in all of the city. In fact, arguably unless you are high nobility.
That must be a lot of responsibility for someone like you.
Oh, yeah, you know, I'm a cavalier. He's proud. That's what matters. Anyway, how's the setup going?
My end is finished. There wasn't much to start with, but
And
It will be
you're
enough.
confident that this is the same brew as Lorenzo's?
unfathomably
Okay.
sure.
And what are you going to tell this person that I supposedly have secured?
That it's going to hurt. Until it doesn't.
Okay.
Maybe don't tell them that bit. I mean, I didn't know it, and I might have thought twice if that was told to me before I drank. So, it will help him. Maybe that is all he needs to know.
Maybe that it will feel a little unpleasant.
I'm more concerned that this person will panic.
I see.
What will happen if they panic? Didn't you
Well,
panic?
Possibly a lot of screaming, cries of "you're trying to kill me," all sorts of things that you specifically wouldn't want to happen in such an environment.
Did Lorenzo do that to you?
Yes, I don't recall. I was sort of in my head in the
He
pen.
certainly made a lot of noise. Didn't quite scream.
Okay, well, we definitely don't want them to do that.
We could.
But we don't want them to get cold feet either and leave. This is a one-shot thing. I can't just magically pull people out of thin air.
Perhaps this is where I can be useful. Hold him still.
If they
There
try
is-
to leave.
As you continue to converse, and most of the guild members, by the way, are all just setting up various things and polishing things and putting canvases down and just getting everything set up. You're having this conversation. There is the clanking of plated armor approaching you and a shambling sound and the rattling of chains.
We'll look around.
Lady D'Aquila.
Yes.
You turn to face two royal guards holding in shackles a bludgeoned looking woman who is wearing what look like peasant's rags, but she stinks. She has peasant's rags heavily soiled. She has clearly been wearing this single item of clothing, this torn sort of peasant's rag, probably you would guess for weeks. She is thin down to the bone, and her hands are twisted. She holds it, she is shackled, and her hands are before her, and every finger on her hands is broken in at least 3 different ways. They are swollen. There is like deep, old, and new sort of like mixed bruising. There's pus and little signs of infection sort of setting in. But it looks like her primary injuries is that her hands have been very deliberately, completely broken, beyond use, unusable. And she's just sort of almost cradling these hands in her chest, even though she can't do anything with them. And her eyes are glued to her feet, and she is slightly trembling as she just stands there, trembling not only with fear, but also she's clearly completely weak on her feet, like she can barely stand. The guards stand there.
Arvin looks decidedly, I'd say shocked, not just surprised. I was definitely expecting someone from a hospital, perhaps, or just a ward from the castle, perhaps.
The royal guards smash their halberds into the dirt, like the bottom of their halberd, and they say, we formally release the prisoner into your temporary custody, Cavalier d'Aquila.
Understood.
See that nothing goes wrong, and she is returned to us. And then they turn by the end of the day and walk out.
I shall.
Or walk away, leaving you with this shackled woman who's just standing there completely. And so, despite her horrible appearance, her smell, everything, she is so beneath everyone here that she's invisible.
Do I know if there's any, like, on the... Are we outside or inside the castle?
You're outside the castle. You're
Okay.
now in that
So
laneway sort of leading off
so we
with
couldn't,
the...
like, access any, like, cleaning closet or anything to clean
If you
this.
if you wanted to take her through the castle and do all that, you can try to.
No, I was thinking more if I knew and I could go and fetch some stuff.
You would know of some various, like, where... You know what? I honestly think with your character's position in the station and where you are, no. Mm-hmm. That's not how you would do things. You'd know a lot of people you could tell to do it for you.
Okay.
You're in a castle with like 100 staff and you're in a noble family. Like, this isn't you don't know where the cleaning stuff is.
Crazy.
You say
Yeah.
clean.
Okay. I will do that.
You better do it in front of your parties. They could see you do it.
I will. Okay, so are there cleaning stuff around?
There are castle staff moving to and fro
Okay.
constantly.
Castle
so you can
staff
flag
goes,
someone
oh
down.
dear,
Okay,
it's boss's
I'll-
daughter.
I'll snap at someone.
Yes, lady?
I require someone to fetch some cleaning supplies, please. Clean this woman. Now.
Looks left and right. The prisoner?
Yes.
Okay. And they run off.
It's an authority fun.
It's scary. I appreciate Dave telling me this because I have no idea.
Yeah, well,
What,
you're
being a
both
royal?
a cavalier and a noble in a town in a
You're
place full
right.
of
She
staff.
absolutely wouldn't know where the cleaning
Can I-
Yeah, no way.
is. Yeah.
Okay, I go up to this woman.
You can.
I say, hello. Did she say anything back?
No.
Do you have a name?
Make a charm check. Challenge level 6.
No.
Can't be done.
The
No,
prison's
fine.
generally not spoken to here.
She is literally just lightly vibrating. That is what she's doing.
It's a bit late to ask, but this is the person that you said you could...
You asked for someone injured, didn't you?
That I did.
Wouldn't you rather help?
She's clearly a prisoner. What has she done? Do I want to know? Is it relevant? Is it
You
important?
think I know?
You could find out.
Okay. Well, my conscience
Just saying.
is clear. I'm going to help someone who is injured. And that is all I need to know.
Would I have to ask my dad or
You could
the
ask
guards?
a high... You imagine a royal guard would probably know most of at least have a rough idea of the prisoners.
Okay. Is it important that you know?
No, I'm just trying to gauge the ramifications of healing a prisoner in the castle.
Well, you make sure she's ready and cleaned, and I will find an answer for you.
Or perhaps more to the point, I don't wish to heal this person just to see them now fit for more of what they have gone through.
That is beyond my control.
And I suppose mine as well.
A side door, one of the wooden doors that, as I mentioned in this laneway that you're in, it's a bad way of describing it, but is what this path off the main courtyard, there was servants' quarters and buildings and just various castle facilities. One of these wooden doors opened. Suddenly, a portly-looking woman, quite matronly, in her sort of 60s or so, followed by 3 younger women who, very, very classic-looking maids, with the one who's ordering them around and telling them what to do, run out, and 3 of them are carrying buckets. The older one is like, all right, scum, you get a good go of it, you lucky lady. Come this way. And grabs her by the arm and just starts dragging her. Just sort of not that far away, just away from sight, but around a slight corner.
Follow,
Cool.
just to make
Keep an
sure.
eye, please.
Yeah. I'm going to back to basically sort of default to bouncer.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Don't lose her.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
As soon as
Are you not going to
she's
follow?
around
I'm gonna find
the
your
like a
names
bend and out of the sight of all the nobility, etc., and around a corner, the maids head up, and the older maid, who's clearly head of some small area of this castle, is like, "All right, clean her up." And you see the 2 women, 2 of the women just walk forward, and the older lady steps forward, pulls out like a little wooden handled sharp knife, and just reaches forward, grabs the woman's like old canvas tunic by the top, and just cuts the top of the tunic, and then just tears the whole thing off and just whips it down to the ground. And this completely like emaciated, horribly hurt woman is just bared to you immediately, completely vulnerable, non-reactive to that. And they just throw this slop down, pour these buckets of water. They're just the first one just dumped on her head. It's clearly freezing. She reacts immediately and like tenses up even more. And then they pull out these like sponges on sticks and just start like scraping her with these brushes, washing the filth off her. And the whole process takes about like 5 minutes while they're doing this. And there's a few like perfumes and soap suds that are involved in this in the water. They throw another bucket over to rinse her, and then basically pull a clean but very basic and over, I'd say, slightly ill-fitting tunic back over her head, and then they're like, "All right," and drags this lady back out and just sort of says, "There you are, miss, all clean and proper.
Thank you.
Have a good one." And she walks off. "We got work to do. Come on, girls."
I'll also go and see if I can ask a guard
Okay.
who may know. Or
You're going to
higher
leave
up.
this prisoner? You've been officially released
I
custody
have
to this
been
prisoner.
officially-
And that entire duration, her eyes have just stayed locked
Could
to
it-
the ground.
Well,
She's not
I was
reacting. She's
thinking
just
that
like-
I would do it while they were cleaning because Lorenzo was acting as
Okay,
well, so-
that's fine.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't mind.
not going to make it. There's no check required. You
Okay,
find a
cool.
royal guard and
Yeah.
reach them. Is anyone with you?
No, I want to go alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
You reach a royal guard.
Madam? Sir?
This one's sir.
Sir.
Yes.
Could you tell me the crime of this prisoner over there? And I suppose I won't see. Did you see a prisoner taken through earlier?
I have heard a prisoner has been temporarily released.
Could you tell me their crime?
Make an authority check. Challenge level 3. Dice. I don't know. I just want you to tell me.
Literally, dice are really scary, guys. Oh dear, I lost one.
I find it. You can.
Okay. Oh yeah.
3. Ooh.
I lied. It's gone forever.
It's gone.
Cavalier, the nature of the crimes are sensitive. I will share it with you, but understand that they shouldn't spread around.
Of course.
That woman was found conducting... the word is sour in my mouth. Blasphemies,
Goodness.
ill-fitting. Blasphemy even stains me with the taint of superstition. No, but it is fitting a word. They were... unsound for good morals.
What were they caught doing?
things no human should be able to do. I lack the language to describe it.
I see. Things that the Crown would never forgive.
Things that humanity should never forgive. The act of them, in terms of her crime beyond that, she has harmed no one.
How long has she been down there?
A month or so, since we found her. One of those camps of odd folk.
Any others with her?
Some were released, some were punished, but she was the only one that had committed grievous acts.
I see. Rest assured, I'll keep her in my custody.
See that you do.
Thank you. I'll head off.
Cool.
Do I get the sense that he was talking about the religious
Culty people.
Culty thing?
100%.
Yeah.
He was struggling to describe stuff that
He
basically
didn't understand.
you all lack the language to understand. He's suggesting, witchcraft is basically what it feels like.
Having seen what we've seen in the forest, though, we would have had a slight understanding of something weird going on.
Yeah, and that's
You would,
the
yeah.
impression
Bianca
that she
was
was
there.
getting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm saying
yeah,
you
yeah.
as in you as a group of characters, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but they don't.
But it's not,
sense.
that's
yeah.
you bore witness to something that no one bears witness to.
Yeah, I get you now.
You weren't supposed to live.
Yay.
I still want to keep talking to this woman, by the way.
Okay.
I know she's going to respond to me. I don't care.
She doesn't respond
Cool.
to you. She's completely silent.
I tell her about my country. I tell her about my favorite foods. I ask her what her favorite foods are. I ask her what her name is. Yeah, I know she's not going to respond to me. It's fine.
While she's doing that, how steady is this woman on her own feet? Does she look like she's just going to
She's
collapse?
okay when she's not walking.
All right.
Make an intuition check.
Wait.
Because I know where this train of logic is going.
Oh, no.
2.
Even with 2, you get the sense that she's quite happy standing. As if she doesn't get to do it often.
Lorenzo's fighting just this urge. He's just standing there quietly and just acting bouncer, but deep down he's just working pretty hard to bury the impulse that he has a desire to draw the scene. There's just something about even having watched her be so aggressively washed and all this stuff. I as a person, not Lorenzo, just picture these scenes of Renaissance paintings of a vivid scene of action of something so unique or whatever. And that's sort of what he sort of feels this compulsion to capture.
Yeah.
Even as she sort of sits there, this really
Scrubbed
unfamiliarly
woman.
injured sort of shape being spoken to by a foreign girl. It's all just, so he's working quite hard to push,
Fingers are
to
twitching.
push those
You're a
urges away.
deeply closeted artist.
Yeah.
I understand. That's the vibes I'm getting.
That's it.
It's like a cowboy trying to,
I don't feel it.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
grab
I
his
don't
guns, but
need it.
his fingers are just going.
It's just impractical and silly nonsense.
It's
so
horrible. Yeah. It'd be sinful almost if sin was a concept.
I'll come back and see if Lyrin is having any success.
She's not.
talking.
Well, she's having a lot of success talking.
Not getting any
The words are
responses.
flowing from her
Oh,
mouth.
and I love the biscotti that Emily makes. It's the most delicious thing I've ever
Leonie?
tasted. Emily. Yes?
May I have a moment with her, please?
Sure.
And I'll try.
I don't
and-
puddle too far away.
Now that she's clean, Bianca feels happy touching her.
Okay.
And I'll try and lead her away a little bit just so we can
She just goes with
have a
you.
private moment.
would you
I'll be
like
back.
me to?
No? All good.
Very well.
And I'll say to this woman, even if she's unresponsive, what we are trying to do here today, or what we will do rather, is heal some of your ailments. I cannot promise what will happen afterwards. I do not know. It's beyond my control. But if you want a word of advice from someone who's grown up in this area, renounce what you've done, and maybe they won't hurt you again.
Make an empathy check.
Yeah, how's your empathy?
Hey, don't ask that.
Probably just as good as my charm.
Maybe she has a heart of gold.
Don't ask a lady what her empathy is. It's impolite.
It's only a 1, so clearly not that good.
She stiffens even slightly as you talk, and the words of basically the very same authority that has been imprisoning her just sound like more words of awful people to her. So there's nothing you can say that she will take in any positive way.
Yeah. And having done that, I'll say that's all, and I'll bring her back.
Very good.
Oh, you're back. Here, let me tell you about my favorite song from my home country.
Go for it. Leonie's happy to have a listening ear.
Looking back, like into the courtyard, how busy is it getting? Like, is there a crowd?
Everyone's set up
around?
now, and there's some people starting to walk around. In fact, there's a lot of nobility. So the guilds have all set up, and now you're seeing little pockets of nobility faffing around with their servants and gliding through, fanning themselves. Ooh, is that novelty? And then just plodding on through.
So we are faced with perhaps the biggest challenge yet. We have the most incredible thing here, undoubtedly. Ready to show. We have someone ready to demonstrate it with, and yet we are in the center of this, the most underwhelming group I could imagine. How do we get their attention? A spectacle. We have one chance to demonstrate this.
Are we near the table that Arvin secured, or the?
I don't know where you are.
I'm with
We're still
I'm with
just
Arvin and
outside, I think.
I'm with Arvin and Bianca. So how do you come back?
Yeah, no, but I just mean like which setup are we at? Because theoretically
Everyone
we
was
have
at the
Arvin's
dodgy
table.
setup.
Yeah.
No, everyone was at the other setup because there's no way you would have been doing that with the woman
that's what I was
in the
thinking,
middle of the
in the
crowd. So
tiny
you're
one.
off on the
Yeah.
side with the
Oh.
ballista setup.
So Arvin's tiny.
You're not doing that in the
setup
middle
is
of the
elsewhere.
courtyard.
No.
No, you're off to the
In
side.
tiny. Okay,
Well, could
okay.
Arvin be with us and like the rest of the
Arvin
guilds?
is with you currently.
He
He hasn't
I'm just
headed
talking
over.
about the setups.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, your thing is pretty attention grabbing.
I mean, I guess.
Is it noisy? The avalanche?
Probably not real.
Not particularly.
Yeah.
So people aren't
I
going to
could-
notice if
I-
it makes a thwang.
Could make it noisy. Or
What's that supposed to mean?
smoky.
That could draw attention.
Where I'm set up, is that sort of back on the way in from the courtyard where the arbalist is?
You're in like the middle of the courtyard.
Okay.
The thing is, we only have one chance at this, right? Shouldn't we wait until the right people here?
Yes, but sometimes you need to draw them over.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying that we should also make a plan and then wait for them and then enact a
Right?
plan.
What kind of plan?
A sudden burst of activity draws everyone's attention as a heat blast wave flashes through you all, and you like head snap towards a cloud of black smoke emanating from the courtyard.
Something like that?
The screams go up immediately, like gasps and
Like gasps of enjoyment?
Gasps
or
of
fear?
terror and fear.
Okay.
Nobility.
Followed-
Maybe not.
Hold that thought. I go run towards whatever's happened.
What is she doing?
you run out there.
What do you mean run towards
You
us?
like dash out of the little side corridor and look at the courtyard. There is a small crowd of people, all stunned and shocked and turned in the same direction as a man with a guild you can't quite identify stands hands out. Everything is all right. It's fine. Yep, it's good. We're good. Everything good. Test. There was a test. Be back in an hour for the real show. Okay, go now. Go on now. Okay. And slowly these people like disseminate as there is a table that is just concave and smoke flying off it.
I love him.
And then, everyone sort of looks off in different directions.
So it wasn't a Leonis.
Leonie, like,
bomb. What was it?
Oh, just some inventor that thought that his invention would work, but turns out it didn't. He should have tested it beforehand. What a silly Billy.
Well, that's good for
Depends what his invention is.
you guys. Right?
Well, the people are dispersing from that area, so maybe yes.
Did draw attention.
out of everyone in the guild, who is the most, like, charismatic? I think I said the word right. Would it be Elio, the tiny
Probably
kid?
Bianca.
Or would it be
I have a big feather.
Celeste, kind of, like, charming?
What kind of charm are you looking for? Who's
Yeah,
going
it's
to
different
command the
charms.
most attention
Yeah.
is the guildmaster in this environment.
Oh, I don't feel like Telerosa would be up for that, though.
It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for like a box crier,
Yeah, basically.
then you've got plenty of routes to go down. Like Ilio could be perfectly, the like paper boy, like get extra, like kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But, it just depends on what you're looking for. Celeste has ran off actually as well with Leone. She runs forward and heads over to the explosion.
Yeah, sick.
She's the first to dive into danger every time. And as you're heading back, you can see that she's already like helping this guy pick up his table and like put everything back.
That's so sweet.
She's no stranger to
Helping the
accidents.
competition.
No one else is, by the way. No one else is, but only Celeste runs over.
She's an interesting one. You're thinking about something.
Well, I mean, as far as I'm aware, the one thing that does spread very easily through LUCEVERA is gossip.
Rumors?
Yes. Haha, you were on the same wavelength, you mean. Yes, so perhaps we all go around and we say that something really exciting is going to happen, that someone has a miracle cure or something like that, I don't know, to all these different people, and then they need to come here. And yeah.
Can I get an acuity check from Leone, please?
Okay. I mean, I do know my fellow cavaliers love to gossip.
That is a 1.
And what kind of activity would be drawing the attention?
And you spin, and a man has walked not from the group. There's actually there's about 5 people here, but the one who spoke, you immediately see a man wearing the blue tinted jacket with a gold hammer pin on his lapel. He also has brocade hanging from one shoulder down and a breastplate underneath his jacket that is like golden wrought with filigree down it. He's an imposing figure, standing probably as tall as Lorenzo, but like almost Lorenzo, probably about similar build to Lorenzo, but without the youthful like lack of strength behind his posture and his stance. It's like the same build, but with the power, confidence, and posture. This man is looking down, and can I get knowledge checks from everyone? With him, there are similarly uniformed, but without nearly as much glory, blue jackets with breastplates that are far simpler.
That's a
Sweeping
Critical
success.
success. Yay! I get a spirit,
Nice.
baby.
I got 2.
Got 2.
4.
That's 5. for
So,
me.
Arvin and Leone both immediately recognize that these people are not directly under the king's command. These are members of the War Masons Regiment. And Leone, who is a bit of a fangirl of the War Mason, recognizes this man in the way that, like, you've seen his charcoal sketch in like a book.
Heck yeah.
So excited that you regained spirit from it.
Yes.
This is Fidel de Frenze, And he is basically the second in command to the War Mason, who is the general that changed the entire face of the war and won the war against the
I
Republic of
have a
Sildaris.
poster of her in my bedroom. Thank you.
And he also had so he looks down and their group was clearly heading towards the plaza just from a different route, a less busy route, and you happen to be in this corridor area.
Leona she looks like a fish. Just has her mouth open. It's just like, and can't say a word.
Well, we
This
shall
is
be
Leona.
going then.
Wait. What did you say?
What did he say? I totally forgot.
Good role playing.
Something
You
about-
actually blanked.
Something about
He raises an
distractions.
eyebrow and looks down slightly at you, and then
Sir, it isn't
make a charm check.
honored to meet you.
I need a charm check. Does he find you endearing, or does he find you not like an obstruction?
That's 3. No,
That's 2.
Can I help her?
I still bow either way, and I still say it's an honor to meet him.
He smiles slightly and starts to head off. You all have opportunities to act.
What did he say?
If you've forgotten, you've forgotten.
But Lorenzo might not have
I
forgotten.
will say.
If not one of the 4 of you is paying attention, I am sorry, I'm not kidding.
I'm going to jump in once everyone's finished asking what did we say. We are merely looking for ways to draw attention to our latest invention. Something a bit of a siegecraft, if that might take your fancy.
What are you talking about?
Yes. In fact, it does. What? And who is the inventor?
Well, the expert is someone who is so excited to share her invention that she tripped on her words.
The old trade assembly.
He hears both at the same time, leans down, looks towards. Also, the other thing you note, this is particular to Leone, is each of the sort of the gaggle that's heading with him, the 5 others in uniform. 2 of them have sketch quills and paper to take notes, but all of them have sort of a war hammer at their waist, like a picked battle hammer for cracking armor, and then on their back they have crossbows. But these crossbows are so different from the one. In fact, they're like the ones in the town are just like a regular crossbow. These crossbows, you can see they have a bowstring and then a crank handle on them. And they also have this strange thing that you've never seen before. It's like a wood and steel thing protruding from one side of them that has multiple bolts threaded through it. And it's sort of lodged into the crossbow. And there's a crank mechanism, and they're very ornate and fancy. And he looks down, and then he says, Akajeti, inventor, show me.
Yes.
Yes.
I run to the arbalest.
Okay.
Sick.
And while she's setting up, I'll sort of like follow alongside. Maybe I can run a bit of commentary. So, what this guild has devised is in fact something of a miniaturized siege weapon. Like, how convenient would it be if we could deploy large-scale ballista from one single soldier?
Appealing, but does it work?
Let's find out.
Make an attack roll.
Well, this is it.
Attack the target. What's behind the target?
Keep rolling hot. Keep rolling hot.
What do I need?
Ooh. 4.
It's 4.
4 successes.
Put your heart into
There is
it.
as this compact arbalast fires its bolt, it sails across, embeds itself in the straw dummy and floors it onto its back. Like it basically splinters of wood. This dummy falls over backwards. Hay goes everywhere.
Imagine what he could do to
Fidel's eyebrow is raised.
You mentioned it could be packed up and set up with ease.
Oh, yes.
Demonstrate.
I demonstrate.
Cool. make a second. I'm going to get you to make an engineering check.
Just see how well she
with
does it.
reflexes. Basically,
Interesting.
or you can use finesse or reflexes with engineering to basically demonstrate how, in this moment, how well you can show that off. 4 successes.
Yo.
Leone, like sweat
Stomach
dripping on the
roll.
forehead, goes into action mode, hacks up, sets up the arbalast.
The old trades assembly.
Yes.
Yes.
He turns to there's a woman closest to him, the one that sort of is standing the closest of the guards, who's been taking notes this whole time, looking down these sort of little set of, she actually has a single monocled eyeglass that's clipped onto the top of her nose. And then she looks up. I think so, she says. Nothing else, just I think so, as they meet their gaze. He reaches his hand down to the side. He has a series of pouches and he pulls out a brass tube that's maybe the size of a cigar. And he undoes the top of it and he slides out a rolled up scroll piece of paper and he slides it back. And then he turns, he's not saying a word while he's doing this. He turns this piece of metal towards you. And you recognize that the bottom of this piece of metal is shaped like a mouthpiece, like a
flute?
a flute mouthpiece. And then he hands it to you. And then he says, you have attracted the attention of the War Mason.
Does she peep?
Physically support Leone in her time of need. Just brace her slightly.
When you are ready to meet after this likely farce of an event, write your message and call the eagle.
Lightly vibrating.
And then they walk off. They just turn and stride off towards the center of the
Leone
group.
says a bunch of words in her language so that no one knows what she's saying. She's very, very excited.
Did he just say call her the eagle?
I think so.
I hope it has wonderful feathers.
Well, it turns out spectacle only matters in as much as it scales with the person who you're showing it to.
Are you still with me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Do you go after him and say anything?
Do you want
After the War Masons, I don't think
How
so.
do you? There's what do you want? What are you doing?
Still has to show his one off.
to the ball?
I know, like, the War Masons specifically are, like, engineering and...
Yeah.
They're a company.
Arms.
They're like a brigade of a modern representative we actually have. They're like sappers. So they're combat engineers.
I've seen Arvin switch sort of seemingly from like, cause Lorenzo was under the impression that like we have one thing to show, and we demonstrated it privately to one person, but
Oh, you'll be doing demos all day now.
with the thing,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Regardless, regardless of the import, you have 4 lesser nobles, girls like giggling and giggling, and be like, "Show me, show me!" And then you fire, and they'll be like, "That is fucking stupid!" And then walking off, like seriously, all day. Like, look at the peasants!
that's so funny.
What a silly contraption!
I'll quickly run after the what was his name?
The man's name was Fidel de Frenze.
Fidel.
Was Dolorosa around as well when that happened?
Yes,
Yeah.
and she probably said 1 or 2 things.
Yeah,
but
okay, cool. Just wanted to know.
Excuse
Such as
me.
thank you.
Excuse me, monsieur. No, why do I keep doing that, monsieur? It's not French. Excuse me.
He's kind of French.
Excuse me, sir. I don't mean to intrude, and we appreciate the attention that you have given and hope that our guild is of interest to you. And if so, I would like to say that there is one more thing that we have created that is beyond anybody here's imagining. The only problem is we are a humble guild and cannot quite figure out the grounds and way in which to show it, for we have one demonstration for today. This can be
as you're talking, which is going great, because things always happen in real life.
Yeah.
As you're talking, you do hear in the background, the Duke of Allegrano, and then you continue.
Yeah, I finished.
Yeah,
I sort of
okay,
said what
cool.
I said. And it's, if that is indeed the Duke, is there any... If you have any sort of admiration or respect for what you just saw that we produced, would it be possible that you could bring the eyes of the Duke to...
Make a charm check, challenge level 5.
Ouch.
Lorenzo loves going out on a limb.
Asking nobles to put their personal reputation on the line for okay.
I
You
got
can roll
5
it.
dice.
You could make it.
You never know. No.
Oh, what? Oh, let me use... Oh! Can I...
Do you have?
Thank you.
No, I don't have...
No.
But in the rule book, can you get the rule book, please? Please, yes. Can you please turn to Knack and Grit
Down to page 300.
and read beneath that desperate exertion.
Knack and Grit.
Read me the rule for desperate
I
exertion.
love when Jazza writes rules, inserts them into the book, doesn't it?
Page 23.
No, we can we
Yeah,
discussed
no,
this.
I'm
Desperate
just teasing.
exertion. If a character's knack and or grit are entirely depleted and a pivotal moment arrives in which the player is desperate to turn the tide of a roll in a way that knack and grit would otherwise enable, the GM may decide to allow the player to spend an amount of spirit in exchange for the same effect.
Ooh.
However, this should be costly and come at a sacrifice to the player and must be explicitly allowed or offered by the GM.
How much spirit do you have?
I have 12.
Okay.
The Emperor decrees.
I have my reasons. It's not. It doesn't feel like any amount of desperation from your character or exertion would sway this kind of political arrangement in this situation.
fair enough.
But without having to spend everything, because of your 4 successes and your clear willingness to push, he says, I am not sure that I could. But tell you what, if it is as impressive as you say, I promise that when time comes for your demonstration, we will look out and we will be there to watch as well as whoever you can convince. So it will not be unseen by the War Mason.
I hope that is the case. Thank you, sir.
And he nods and walks off. So yeah, whatever happens, whoever you can convince, you have now also got Fidel de Frenze, who will be standing there watching as well. So
Do
you
we?
did, yeah. I didn't want to burn. And the other thing is, it's thing with desperate exertion. I really like it, but there's also got to be consequences. And when you're probably going to go sleep for 3 days after this, it's like there's not really going to be a consequence to you spending all your spirit.
I get it.
But I will say one other thing that happens to you as you smile, feel good, and turn around.
Yeah.
So your stomach?
And you clutch your lower belly.
Develop demons.
You feel squidgy. You feel like wet butt squidgy.
Oh, no.
It's your first pang of you just get this sudden it feels like your lower intestines are gurgling. What? That's we're ending the episode on that.
Oh, no.
Tell us you got a bigger poopa in your belly.
It's the end of the episode, the end of Lorenzo's intestines, and the end of him. Find out next time.
Is the healing potion going to work?
What a cliffhanger.
Very well done.
Very productive.
Great rolls
We
on.
got it. Well, that was Leona's sickest moment so far.
And
I
got to introduce my fan fiction faction.
The War
You know how
Masons?
you always have your
I didn't think we'd be seeing anything
Not
of them.
now.
That
Oh,
Yeah,
guild
me too.
invent where they send an emissary for this.
cool.
But that idea of this is my what's it called, your
Idol.
OC.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of like, these are my cool, they're cool, they have like cool uniforms and cool armor, and they've got like cool repeating crossbows, man.
the coolest.
They're so cool.
You got a freaking falcon whistle,
Heck yeah.
eagle whistle,
The
with
eagle
parchment.
whistle, yeah.
Oh my god.
And although you didn't understand it, they have like
Yeah.
crossbows.
Like a
They have magazine. I was trying to describe. They have like
did not
medieval
understand that.
magazine crossbows,
With multiple-
like 5 bolts, and
Yeah,
they can like
that's
crank it. And
sick.
they've got repeater crossbows.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool.
That's cool.
Hells yeah.
Thank you everyone so much for watching.
We said patrons.
Patrons!
Patrons!
Patrons! Thank you for joining. They're right here.
Hey, do you know what we?
like
you know,
our show
I didn't say this. We were talking about
thing.
we. I gave
What's it
the
called that we
patrons
did
to
today?
both patrons for Tabletop Time a sample mini from the Kickstarter.
Oh, yay.
So if you are a 3D printer and you're a supporter of our Patreon, you can download right now a sample single Kindred of the Abyss model that you can print and paint.
That's so cool.
As a little thank you for
Go
your
check
support.
that out.
Fun.
And to try and, try before you buy with drugs, free set. First one's free,
Give 'em a
you
little
want the rest of them.
Just a little
Dave?
sprinkle up
Yeah.
there.
We get you
You
in.
already saw today. Stop.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Goodbye.